minutes deep and who wants to, whatever. It doesn't have the big flashy yellow letters of like, my truck caught on fire, fired an employee headline. We don't do that, and our channel suffers for it.
That's only because I don't know how to do it.
Yeah. It's like Johnny Cash saying we'd play faster if we could.
Okay.
What are we talking about?
Where we're going in 2020.
Oh God, where are we going in 2020?
So we have 6 more months. We're, what, 2/3 of the way to our sales goal for the year?
Yeah, I think we could hit, I think if we hustle hard, we could hit $1 million.
But that puts us back in the field.
I think limited amount. I think a limited amount. A couple days a week. And if that's
Which is
not
tough
the
for the
case,
business. You have to stay out of the field.
That's a great conversation to have. You have, if you're gonna have employees, that's the thing. And if you don't want to work 80, 90 hours a week forever. And when you're starting your business, you got to. That's just, it is what it is. You gotta put in that hustle. But we've been established for a while, and you never want to take your foot off the gas either. But I just don't want to have my foot on the gas as long for the week as I used to. Because we have 3 children. We have 3 grandparents that are homebound, I guess, let's say. And you don't want to, and so I can't work 90 hours a week like I used to. And that brings us into the conversation of like, when I was kid contractor, I'm so old, when I was at your age, but I always saw guys, like when I was in my mid-20s, guys like they had lawn care businesses or landscaping businesses or whatever, and they would have a kid or knock somebody up or whatever, and they'd be like, oh, I gotta get a real job now. And that always struck me so odd, and I never liked it, because it was like, a real job? What do you mean a real job? And I swore from early on I was going to make a company that I could draw a nice salary off of, not work 90 hours a week for 20 years, work 90 hours for like 10 years maybe.
Raise a family.
Raise a family, support a family off of the salary of my company.
And support our guys' families.
And yeah, of course, support our guys' families. Pay them a good wage and have a really good team. But I swore I was not going to have to get a real job just because I had more respect for my business, I guess. And it took me a long time to learn how to actually do it. But it wasn't just a hobby to me, and it wasn't just something I was doing for some money or whatever, for like spending money or whatever. Like, it was a business to me from day one, actually. Probably I know too much so, because that's how I crashed it. I was trying to be, as I always say, Joe Big Time Contractor way too early. I wasn't ready for it yet, with all the tax withholding and, you know, taking on jobs I wasn't equipped for and didn't have the machinery for, and renting and not renting and trying to get it all with labor instead of machinery. And so I just always think about that. Like, I was never going to not have my business be successful. It was always going to, like, build it to a point where it could support my family. And we're like, you were working part-time for a long time, full-time for a while before that, but you've worked for the company solely.
I bowed out for a few years, like totally.
That's
and
true.
then switching over to the company full-time was really scary, because we were down to, like, you know, our whole being depended on the company and, you know, what we produce. So that was a big leap of faith. But you know, it turned out fine.
Yeah. How long?
But being a business owner requires those risks, and I'm not always willing to take those risks.
How long have you been Britt's owned the company for 10 years, but you've been solely employed by the company and drawn a salary from the company for how long?
Just solely Auman landscape income has only been 2 years.
Is that all?
After we had Levi.
Really? But you were part-time prior to that for...
Oh, many years.
Working for her
I
dad's
worked for
company.
Yeah.
Her stepdad's
And I just
company,
did half days in the office there, and then the rest of my time was with Auman. But that was because we had small children, and I would take them to the office with me, and it would allow me to be with
Yeah,
the
it was
kids
a real
and
blessing
everything,
of a gig too. That worked out great.
which has been a priority for us, and partly why our office has always been at home, because we want to be around our kids and not miss out on them being little.
Because we work a ton. You know, one of the things is, like, and like any self-employed person knows, like, the workday isn't necessarily over at 4 or 5. Like, there's days through the week where we're still working to 8 o'clock at night, but we're also interspersing that with messing with the kids, or hey, we've got to run and look at a project tonight that, you know, not with clients, but we've got to drive down the road and look at some, or go pick up a machine. And so our schedule is just kind of all over the place. So it's, you know, so it's one of those things. I forget where that came from, where I was going with that, but